Present moment, present moment, present moment. Let's get it, man. Present moment. Mav did this one. I'm in the present moment just like you are. What you doing? Hopefully you realize you're living in the present moment. I just want to say that. Hopefully you realizing that every moment is a new moment. Today, you have never experienced. What's today? You have never experienced June 13th, 2020 before. You've never experienced June 13th, 2020 before. So it's a new day. It's a new you. It's a new you, whether you realize it or not. So I'm just telling you that because I'm in the present moment right now. In the present moment, enjoying the sun, bro. Look at the motherfucker. The sun just that motherfucker, man. I'm thankful for the sun. But the title of this video today is, should we change the world? Should we change the motherfucking world? I got an interesting look. I've always been one, I've always felt like I was going to bring huge change, and I feel like I still am going to bring huge change to this world. It's just always been a part of me. I always felt like I'm going to change the world, bro. I'm going to change the world. But you got to really look into what you mean by changing the world. I still got to do more research on the whole changing the world and the world aspect of things. But to get more aware in this video, more and more woke, I don't like the labels and shit. It's just everybody's spiritual. Everybody's spiritual whether they realize it or not. But some of the like conspiracy theories and shit like that. And it's not really conspiracy theory because it's true. There is a cabal, there is a Illuminati, there is things like that going on where it's a group of people that have a more control over the world. And I feel like if we want to get that control out of their hands, we cannot control the world. See, when you change the world, that's such a huge aspect. What do you mean by change the world? I realize that you it's not about changing the world in a whole. I don't see a way that we could come together and just completely change the world. I mean, we could come together and completely change the world, don't get me wrong, because strength in numbers, 100%. If it's more of us, we outnumber whoever runs this world. We outrun them. We outnumber them by 10 to 1, and they know this. That's why they want us more divided. That's why they want us fighting against each other. That's why they want us to not understand each other and all this racism shit and all this other things, police brutality, coronavirus, trying to keep people apart from each other because all this shit that's going on in 2020 right now. They're trying to keep us divided because they know if we come together, we can't be stopped. Because all of us, if every single body came together, I'm talking about like all the countries, all the people united under one thing, and really, but it's a hard thing to achieve though. It's a very hard thing to achieve, egos and all this other shit. But I feel like if you really want to change the world, instead of changing the world, you have to change the perspective of people. You have to change their perspectives. Now, I'm not trying to change your perspective. I'm trying to give you information on how I've changed my life and things that's going to change your life and help you be better in life and just complete 100% make your life better. I don't need you to see the world in a certain way. I don't need anybody to see me in a certain way. I don't need anybody's perspective to be changed. Only if you want your perspective to be changed so that you can live a better and more successful life. But honestly, I do feel like if people were to change their perspective on the world would be changed. Because if, say, you change the perspective of one person, right? That means they see the world differently. That means they show up in the world differently. That means they take different actions than the regular person. They're slowly changing the world because you don't need to change the outside reality. Life happens within us. I have to tell you this again. We are in a simulation. This is a game. So if we change within, if we change our beliefs, if we change our perspectives, if we change the thoughts we have on our experiences, if we change the fact of the matter that we're in the present moment and stop worrying about the time and all that different stuff, and you start to become less anxious and less nervous and things like that, and you have a different perspective on how you want to show up in the world and how you feel is right to show in the world, show up in the world different than other people, because a lot of people, they lower themselves to social norms. They not truly being themselves. And don't get me wrong, I used to be that type of person who used to like not be himself completely because I was scared of what people would think about it. I was scared of the criticism I would get, or maybe I would be embarrassed. But that was all based on a past experience I had that I gave a bad meaning. And through a meditation and through me learning that that's not who I am anymore, it was never who I was. It was just a decision I made, and now I can make a different decision. I changed my perspective. I changed my beliefs about myself and about the world I lived in, and I know that life happens within you. See, everything happens with light codes. See, not light codes, but like frequency and vibration. Our eyes interpret certain vibrations. We don't even interpret half of the electromagnetic spectrum. We don't even interpret half of it. We only interpret about, I think, a very, very small percent of the whole electromagnetic spectrum. We only receive certain vibrations. So we clearly can't see everything. We do not see everything. Don't think just because you can't see it, it's not real. You don't see everything. So don't even think that. We only see a small amount of it. So our eyes and stuff, they interpret the they bring in the information, they bring in the vibration and the frequency of it, and they interpret it to our brain, which creates our senses, creates our sense of smell, our eyes, our hearing. I'm gonna link a video below about that in the description. But yeah, life happens within us. We're in a simulation. So when we receive certain we can receive certain vibrations of sound, vibrations of light. Everything is light. We just see it, we just interpret it in a different way. So that means life, to me, that means life happens within us. And to a lot of people, that means life happens within us. Life happens within us because we interpret our environment. We create our environment based on how we interpret it. So just knowing that tells you can create your own reality by your beliefs, your thoughts, the way you see things. Change the perspective of people, and you change their reality, and you change the world by doing that.
It's the same thing that the news does. It creates a certain perspective on the world that makes you think the world is this way.
But changing the world is something bigger, and it's going to take more than just one person. It's going to take people to come together and realize that if you want to change the world, you got to change people's perspectives, not just the outside. You got to change. They got to change what's going on within them so that they can change the world that they live in. You have to change for you first without trying to change the outside. Remember that. This is like it fell short. This video fell pretty short, but like I said, change what's going on within you first. Change your perspective on the world, you change the world. Change somebody else's perspective on the world, you're changing the world. So that's a big part of making these videos and stuff like that. So hopefully this helped you today in changing the world. People need to come together and things of that nature. So I'm gonna link some videos in the description. Please watch those if you want a better idea of how we interpret things and shit like that. So yeah, Mav did this one. Present moment. You know what the fuck going on. Yes, sir.